everybody, welcome back. Arturia just released a new VST called the DX7. I don't know how they got away with that name, but it's based on the Yamaha DX7 FM synthesizer that was so popular in the 80s. And it just came out 2 days ago, and I, of course, bought it. And I want to make a video real quick so that any of you that were thinking about buying it might be better informed on whether or not you need yet another FM VST. And it may just be because I have a little bit of money on the line, but I'm hoping that you do need another FM VST. And we're going to find out just exactly why together. So let's load it up. Let's get started. Alright, message received, everyone. I'll try not to talk as much throughout this video. You just want to get to the sounds. But if I have an interesting thing to say during this video, I'm gonna gosh darn say it. You're gonna gosh darn listen. So let's get started. Here's the very first preset that loads up with the VST. I already have to say something. They've done a great job of taking pretty standard FM patches and adding a nice level of velocity to them. If I knew more keys, that would be more fun to hear. What are we doing here? All types? So it's the same as their V series, their 5 series, I don't know what they call it. But the same way to look through your patches. And you can resize the VST as well. In fact, I'm going to try and stay away from stuff that they covered in the Arturia tutorial videos. They released 2 for this one, so check those out. It'll give you the basics. That's what I watched before I purchased it. That's all I needed to see to know if I wanted to purchase it. So let's just keep going. Woo! That sounds good. John Carpenter. Prince of Darkness? Yeah, that's kind of what that sounds like. It's supposed to sound like a shamisen. It does, actually. Full disclosure, this is my 3rd time opening the VST. The 2nd time was yesterday when I tried to record this video, and my Zoom portable audio recorder that I used to record my voice separately so I can mix it properly just ran out of space. It's got like 12 gigs and they ran out of space. Remarkable that I could overlook that. Anyways, moving on. Good low end on some of these presets. I can get this even closer. Also, new microphone arm, very helpful. Little too responsive to the velocity, but we could definitely change that. Maybe I don't know if that's something you guys want me to be getting into with this this series, Noodling Around. Welcome to Noodling Around, everyone. But it goes to, it stands to reason that this is a very nice GUI. Part of the reason why I ended up purchasing it was because the competitors, Dext, which is a free VST, boom, and FM8, which is a pretty, it's like a legacy VST at this point. It's been around in this form for like 5 years, I think, and it's been around for even longer than that, but those were basically your 2 competitors if you want the DX7 sort of sound, and they all kind of do just a little bit of different flavor here, even though it is digital, so it should sound the same every time. But yeah, they're doing it slightly different, and one of the things that is different between all the VSTs right away is how you manipulate the sine waves, because that's what FM is. It's like sine waves modulating other sine waves, and sometimes other waveforms, like this VST actually lets you change the waveform that you want to modulate or to carry. I think, yeah. It just lets you switch them. And that has a drastically different sound depending on what you're trying to do. So anyways, the way that you manipulate those sine waves or waveforms is very important to the character of the sound and what you can do with it after the stock sort of sounds. So there was like cartridges in the 80s. I'm sure a lot of this is, look, you people that know about FM already, like, okay, I get it. But for the people that don't know, FM is weird. FM, there's not a lot of like FM junkies hanging around anymore. So this is a lot of new people that are coming to FM and they want the FM sound, but they don't really know how much people struggled to get that FM sound in the 80s. How they didn't even make their own presets most of the time in the 80s. Like, it's not like a modular wall where they're twisting knobs and stuff. They were using cartridges that would plug into the keyboard that real FM heads made because it was so hard to program for. Because a lot of times there's multiple envelope ADSR, like there's 80, like it's not just the normal envelope. So this is how they've organized it for you to see in this VST. Like, good lordy. So they've got a loop going. I don't know if the DX7 could actually do loops like that, but if it could, imagine trying to program it on that little interface they had. But also you can see all 6 operators here have kind of a different envelope. So we'll get into some of that. Back to more sound. Ooh, that should sound familiar. You can't have an FM VST or sample library without that sound. Love that one. That's a great sound. I think that might have even been one of like the stock sounds on the DX7. I can't confirm that, nor deny. That's another good thing on this VST is the oh, it's not even using it here. The Arpeggiator is really fun to mess with on this. Hopefully I'll get to some patches that I can tell you what's going on a little better, but I can't from this one because this stuff isn't on. Like I said, it's my 3rd time opening this, so I don't quite know what all this stuff is yet. But the nice thing is, while it can open those old cartridges, like there's archives on the internet. I won't post them here, but there's archives, like I don't know the legality of it, but there's archives on the internet of all the old cartridges that existed, and you can open up those sounds on all 3 of these VSTs. And the thing is that's enticing about this VST is that it has all these extra ways to manipulate those sounds, including the modulation matrix here, which usually, modulation matrix is so confusing. What, all this crazy crap you can do. They got a lot that you can do here. 24 different ways to modulate these sounds. But one thing that I don't think Dext could do, I could be wrong. Like I don't want to like endorse DX7 over Dext, but I did just pay money for it, so I kind of want to justify that. But one of the things that made me want to get it was that Dext, which sounds amazing also and is free. Cannot stress that enough. If you don't have the money, buy Dext or get Dext. Although like this GUI, awful GUI, too true to the original. I don't know if it had key velocity that could really manipulate operators in the way. Maybe DX7 can't either, but I'm using another VST called FM Drive. That's what I use to make Treasure Buster. Unfortunately, it's a 32-bit plugin, which is awful. But it really had a great way to use velocity on certain operators, and that's when I realized that's a big part of what FM is the velocity on certain operators so that you get that organic feel. I'm getting off on a tangent here. Back to more sounds. Here we go. Glacial strings. It's Good time to show. They got some macros down here. There it is. I like an organ. Ooh, Deckard's DX. Yeah, sounds pretty good for a FM VST. Kind of helps to read the comments on some of these presets as well, because they've done some. Sometimes they're pretty funny, and they sometimes say what is special about it. Move this back. Ooh, wait a second. Okay, that was what was reversed about it. The thing is, too, with, let's just go back to that one for a second. You can see how this one has bars in it, because it's synced. So that buildup will be 4 bars of your song. So that's kind of helpful as well. That's one thing that, like, Dext couldn't do. So that's another thing that, you know, you can start opening up old patches from those archives and have them work synchronized in your track. That's kind of enticing. A little toe jam and Earl action. I don't know any of the songs, but that's what it reminds me of. Let's see if they say anything about it. Punchy electronic bass. Huh? No, they don't. Moving on. Ooh. That's fun. They got the release on a macro here. Curious. I want to know what this macro... macro 1. Timbre. What is that actually editing? Macro 2. Macro 1. The tuning, the coarse tuning of operator 2, 3, and 4 is on macro 1. Ah, jeez. A little loud in the headphones. Yeah, one thing I wish they had on this that I don't think they do is like an overall envelope, like one for all, like the final carriers, I guess. I guess you could just do that with the carrier itself, but the functionality is kind of confusing for people that aren't super FM junkies. This one's got a little tick at the end there. That's the release. Like when you release it, clips to over there. Nice touch. They got some weird ones in here. I mean, that's fun, it's novel, but I couldn't possibly use that. Those ones get me. I like those ones. Ooh. Sega Genesis in the house. Damn headphone. Still dealing with these little buggers. If it works, it works. This one says 4-op. Does that mean these ones are darked out? Does that mean they got no volume? Ah, yes it does. Yeah, that's kind of interesting way to see which ones are the most voluminous. So if you want to make a 4-op sound, obviously you just don't use 2 of your ops here. And then you get closer to a Sega Genesis sound, which is how I know there were Yamaha keyboards that had that functionality, but Sega Genesis is my reference point. Here we go. Get your sustain pedal ready. I don't know if I like that phaser in there, but AOL sound? Oh, I don't know what that means. AOL sound. Get your instant messaging on. Let's go. 80s high guitar art. Ooh! I don't know any chords. Still. They got a really nice arpeggiator. I know I mentioned that, but let's see if we can deduce something from this one. As far as I know, the gate part is where it will make a sound. And this here is sometimes how fast or how many times it'll trigger a sound, but sometimes it's also the octave itself, so. Ooh. Let's see. Low didn't work. That's pretty good accordion sound. That's close, but I don't know why you would be coming to this for your acid bass sound. Not bad. There's the one. Okay, listen to these little bars here, and how they make it, excuse me, turn it into like a Tangerine Dream sound. You tell me where else you can get that. I don't. Let's see what happens here. Something that could easily be harnessed. I don't quite know how it's working right now, and I don't know why. What the difference is. Okay, so this is an LFO/sequencer. Is this telling the LFO what to do? LFO1 sequence. It's hard to tell because the arpeggiator is on here, but if the arpeggiator's on, then what do these gates do? Maybe that makes more sense to you guys than it does me at the moment. Cool. All right, I'll save your ears that one. Some great sound effect capability on this VST for sure. Like here, let's see what happens if we crank this up a bit. Maybe not that one, but we could get there. This one's got really good velocity response. String sound. There it is. Good starting point for some funky sounds. Holy jeez. What's up with that one? portamento on that one. I wonder how they're getting that ducking sound. I don't think it's on the envelope. Something to figure out next time. You can see your kicks here. Oh, it's also your bass sound as well. That's a lot. Actually, that's how the NES would do a lot of their bass lines for like Tim Fallen games, like Silver Surfer. How the bass line and the kick are on the same channel. Jeez, look at all these. These are okay, all these ones that have like beats to them. That's all you can really do with them is hold one note down. But sometimes they have good things to edit. Is there an overall cutoff? Somewhere in here? Is this it? No, this is per operator. Yeah, I wish they had like an overall cutoff. Ooh, that makes it sound way better. All I did was turn the cutoff down on one of the carriers, which I guess is the one that has all the bass sounds. But one thing I wish they had right here was just a little toggle, like click, 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 click to turn off operators. I thought that's what this was at first, but they still make noise if you turn. So yeah, I've turned off both of the carriers, but why is there still noise? So does it just make the next one in the list the carrier? Oh, maybe. Okay. You can just hear the feedback. Never actually heard that before. It's not very loud though. Can I turn that up? Yes I can. Have you ever heard that before? Just the feedback by itself? Is that what I'm hearing right now? Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Long revolving pad, ideal for scoring. Mod wheel does the operator feedback. Note that the effect changes in the sound evolves. Macro 1 does sample and hold. Macro 2 is a tune control. Macro 3. It's called Bloodsport. I don't know if any of you've seen the movie, but it's loaded with FM. I don't think it was DX7 FM though. It might have been Synclavier. But that's not going to stop them from making a patch. Let's see what it sounds like. Very slow evolving pad. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Bloodsport did have that sort of reverb tail, or release tail. Anyway, how it kind of goes up a bit. I like that. That's kind of cool. See this? I don't know why some of these light up. Is that the sustain? So much to learn. I mean, I hate having to read the manual for a VST after I buy it, but, you know, that's the price you gotta pay. I'd love to know what this one's doing. Okay, I want to see what Macro 1 is actually affecting. No. Macro 1 affects LFO speed, LFO 1 and 2 speed. And what is LFO? What is LFO messing around with then? LFO 1 is messing around with operator 1 level. LFO 2 is messing around with operator 4 level. So operator 1 and 4 are the carriers. Okay, so that makes sense, because carriers are basically just your volume. So it's messing around with the volume. What if I get silly? And let's... I mean, that's kind of how it goes. When you don't know what you're doing, that's how you fiddle with these VSTs. Man, that's got some bite. Okay, anyone who's been watching the video up to this point, please leave a comment. Does your keyboard do this, where if you just tap it, you get the whole release, but if you hold it down, it dies? Some patches do it, some don't. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the actual release. It seems like it happens with FM patches more than other VSTs, but yeah, it catches me off guard sometimes, because you would think, like, doing that should do a short little note, but instead it does a super long sustained note. So I don't know if that's my keyboard, or if that's the VST, or what the hell is going on. Listen to this. Funny. Let me raise this up so you can see. Here's the CPU usage. Velocity full. Ah, cool. You can fiddle around between the DX7 range and the full range. I know the DX7 only went from 0 to 100, I think, instead of 0 to 128, which is weird. Why would they do that? I don't know. I don't know why they'd do that. Wait, did I do this one? See, same thing. Sounds like Silent Hill. Well, not now, but... Also, these can be MIDI learned. Cool. Though not necessarily what I want to do. Oh, weird. How are they getting a reverse sound? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want your life. What's a comping pad? That terminology is not something I know. Aftertouch makes it grow big. Yes, it does. Sometimes. Ooh. Cool. Ooh. Better yet, check this out. Operator 4, cutoff. And let's say... that right? Am I doing this right? Nope. Alright, well I blew it. But what I was trying to do is get the LFO to affect the cutoff at a sample and hold. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I don't really edit those kind of things, but I was trying to impress you guys and it didn't work. There it is. Oh, God. Sorry about that. That one's usable. Ah. They ain't lying. A little too much reverb on that one. All right, we get it. You get a lot of sequences. Smooth sounding FM. Like that could have sounded a lot worse. Man, I should also mention I really love that they have the oscillator over here. If you guys watched my what is FM modulation or frequency modulation video I made like 2 years ago, 1 year, I had to open up an oscilloscope separate and try and show you a patch being made from scratch, and it helps when you can see how the frequencies are being modulated. Especially in something like that. Oh. Look, we're only on D for the patches. Like, there's a lot of sounds in this, which is good. Maybe I'll skip ahead. Sucker for this exact patch. You've heard me do it before. I don't want to go back to that. I'm curious how they're doing that, but I also don't care. All right, we're still recording. Good. Okay, everybody. Ah. Oh, this one has a release, that's why I'm like, why am I hearing extra stuff? Sure, this is on the mod wheel. Nice, this one has a release as well. I don't see what's so ever-changing about it. A little too heavy on the reverb on that one. Actually, this will be an interesting test. Why don't we just turn off the effects? Get out of here! Alright, there's your raw FM. Sounds better. That feedback. That's actually great. I like that. I would use that. Wait, what are they saying here? Nice work. Say what level this is? How do you know? That's a great patch, but yeah, that's complicated. A decent little... I like that a lot. Genesis Graveyard. It kind of sounds like the first level of Altered Beast, which might be what they're referencing, because it was in a graveyard. Rise from your grave! Little soundtrack action there. Little 80s, or it's 80s TV. See, a lot of these have release that rises. I think that's weird. I can't really hear it rising, but hey, don't do that. See, a lot of these sounds like, what was that one? It sounds bad with that much reverb on it. Turn that reverb off. You don't gotta hide all that gritty FM behind some reverb. Like now it's starting to sound like an FM VST, but you know, I get why. You gotta have some of those, like, you know, razzle dazzle patches so people are like, oh, that's great. Shrimp! And why? Thought something broke. Playing a little too hard, everyone. It's funny. Weird release on that one. That's cool. It's even... I don't like this. Get that up there. Hey, everyone. Whoa! Maybe this is a good point to stop the video. I'm getting close to an hour. Let's finish it with me trying to make a sound from scratch, and you can watch me struggle with that. I usually am pretty good at doing that in FM VSTs, but this one, I don't know. It doesn't. Not as easy for me to make a patch from scratch with this one. So usually what I would do is I would just go to a algorithm like this that has just two on its own, isolated here. So you got a carrier and then a modulator here. And the modulator you want to be the feedback one because that usually has the most weirdness it can make to your sound. So if I turn up the feedback one right now. Oh, I love that oscillator. Or oscilloscope. You can see what it's doing. Actually, you know what? Do you know what? Yeah, this could be cool. Cool. Alright, so now that we have that, let's turn up the... Let's keep it going here. Turn up my feedback. And then, well, I don't want it to be the same ratio. Or do I want this one to be lower and then this one to be higher? Not doing anything anymore? Whoa. Did I not save it? I must not have. No matter. Then, okay, envelope. No, I don't like that in there. That's one other thing they have here, which you'll know if you watch the Arturia videos. You can change your envelope mode here from the DX, where it has 80, 80, 80, just tons of attack and decays, to a more traditional approach. Oh, okay. Well, there's the snag. There's the rub. Why can't I see both of them here? Is it because one of them is a... Yeah, probably. There's the rub. Fine, 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 fine. Let's see if I can do this. Where? Okay. Ugh. What the hell? Alright, here's the flaw, I guess, is that it's not very intuitive to make your own sound, whereas I've found, even with Dext, which is not intuitive in any way, shape, or form, I was able to make my own sounds pretty quickly in that, and FM8 as well, though not as much. Okay, well, that's a good place to stop it here. If you've been here for an hour, and you still don't know if you want to buy this VST, I'm sorry, I tried my best to... illuminate what could be different about this VST than the other ones. But if you're still not satisfied, I do actually want to do a video, a separate video where I run through some of those cartridge patches, such as like the Toto cartridges on all three of these VSTs, because it's really easy to load your own cartridges. So if you find these on the internet, you just load them up and then done deal. And then from that point, you just go into your sample library, or sorry, your preset library, and you got all these. You got all these old sounds to fiddle with, and you can see them with this interface. Like, it's fun once they've already done it, but you saw me trying to do this. I couldn't make a sound like that. It's probably why there's a bunch of patches that exist out there. So definitely find yourself this. And then, you know, go from there. Like, turn on your Arpeggiator. Make some macros for it, you know, do whatever you gotta do. But yeah, I want to make a separate video where I go through, just without fiddling with it, so you can hear how each one of these does just a little different. They represent some of those old cartridge patches just a little different. And I don't have an actual DX7 to confirm on the actual hardware, but that's where we're at right now. That's the end of this video. Hopefully that's worth watching, worth checking out. I'm gonna call it. I just gotta cut it off right now before I take too long. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave some comments. Feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video, whatever that might be. Goodbye, everyone.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you guys next time. Feel free to subscribe to this channel.